Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Matthew Bailey here, and welcome to another 2021 movie review. And this is my fifth movie that I've seen this year that I am reviewing. And I know I said, I think at one point earlier in the week, that I was going to make this video, and that is my review of Mortal Kombat. That's right, the 2021 version of the famous video game franchise, Mortal Kombat. Now, I did see the original two movies that were released over 20 years ago. I think it was 20 years ago, or at least up to 20 years ago. That, I mean, honestly, those movies were not as great as this one, is all I can really say when it comes to the difference between which ones were better. This movie was actually, I gotta say, there was a lot of stuff that happened in this movie that I was not expecting. I mean, the whole thing about the origins of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, though, that was pretty cool. And I know a lot of people were a little frustrated about this one new character that was added to the list of cast, who plays some guy named Cole Young or something. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there is something that's revealed in this movie regarding his character that I think, in my opinion, kind of makes up for his lack of characteristics, as I would say. And a lot of the other characters that were included in this movie, like Lord Raiden, Shang Tsung, Liu Kang, all these different characters from the Mortal Kombat video games, they were pretty dang good. I mean, there was only one character that I can say was not very great, and that was Sonya Blade. She's the one character that I think really didn't have a good arc in this whole movie. Her partner Jax, on the other hand, did a pretty decent job, and I guess it's because of that the person they got to play Sonya Blade in this movie. But all I can say is that the movie definitely leaves off on a cliffhanger, meaning there could be a sequel coming out in the next few years or so. And honestly, this movie was a lot better, like I said, than the first Mortal Kombat movie. And I have to admit, this movie is this version of Mortal Kombat is what we really should have seen. I mean, I gotta be honest, if I had to compare the way the story was told in this movie, I would compare it to some of the video games of the Mortal Kombat universe. Like, I mean, honestly, there is no denying that this movie, a lot of the stuff that happened in the movie was based off of the video games. And, like I said, there's one character that I did not even think they could pull off, especially after how they tried to pull him off in the last version. Like I said, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I mean, actually, I guess since he's in the trailer, I might as well mention him. And that is the character of Goro, the one with the 4 arms. They made his character a lot better than he was, I think, in the first version of Mortal Kombat. And, like I said, if I had to say anything not so great about certain other characters, I would say, besides Sonya Blade, the only other character that I didn't really understand why they were in this movie was Reptile. Reptile was a character that I didn't really understand why they chose to make him look this way, because he's not like that in the actual video games. But I can say this was a much better version than the ones we got from years ago. I guess it's because the technology has also kind of changed and evolved, and that's why they made a remake of it. But I think I've said this before with my good friend Matthew Davis Media, that some movies don't deserve to have remakes or reboots or whatever. Good examples of not having a reboot or remake to is like Back to the Future. The Back to the Future movies were amazing. If they ever tried to redo those, they would need to wait until after the person who directed the movies actually dies, Robert Zemeckis. He was the one, I think, who directed all 3 films. And I gotta say, if they ever decided to do a remake of that franchise, they would definitely need to get some type of actors who are as good as Michael J. Fox was and Christopher Lloyd. Like, 2 characters that I think look like they could do well is, if they ever decide to do a remake, the best actors that I can think of to replace the 2 have actually been featured in a video on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'll leave the link to that video in the description below, but those 2 actors are Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland himself, aka Spider-Man. So, like I said, there's a video online that shows their faces CGI'd onto both Christopher Lloyd's character and Michael J. Fox's character in a school scene that happened in the first Back to the Future movie. And honestly, I have to say, those 2 actors being the replacements could be our best option. Because honestly, Tom Holland looks the part of Marty McFly. Or who knows, he could play his honestly, they don't technically need to do like a reboot to that franchise. Oh, actually, what am I saying? We're talking about Mortal Kombat right now. Mortal Kombat is, I can say, it's a really good film. And as for my rating, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 5. Yep. This version of Mortal Kombat was so much better than the first 2 movies that came out. And because those were the only 2 versions of Mortal Kombat that came out, were those 2 movies, I think. And then you got mostly the video games, and now you got this movie. This movie was a lot better, in my opinion. I mean, sure, there may have been some bad things that that were going on in this movie, but it still did a decent job, and it was a lot better than the first movie. But anyways, that's all for now in this 2021 movie review, and I will see all you dudes in the next video.